The typical story that I see every day is like this. A patient comes in, let's say they are a new patient, right? And they have a problem, they suffer from something. Maybe this story could be like yours, right? Maybe you come into my clinic and you tell me what you're suffering from. And then we come to a discussion. And what usually happens by the end of the first session is that I'm going to start to understand the dynamics in your life, and actually I'm going to start to truly understand where you're coming from, and then I'm going to tell you where you're coming from and why you're experiencing the things that you're experiencing. And this is an amazing thing, because what I see every day that I work is this. Even though healing is years away, for the deepest traumas that we have, for the deepest root level problems that we've been carrying sometimes for decades, problems that have roots in their childhood, problems that have come to probably be translated into physical illnesses. There's one phenomenon that is absolutely amazing, right? And this is the phenomenon. The phenomenon is that you actually get to see the patient be so relieved. It's not the treatment. It's actually before the treatment. The relief comes from the right understanding. The right understanding comes from, I understand why I'm suffering. I have a bigger picture of the process. I understand what the roots of this suffering are. I understand the map, the journey that lies ahead. And then I know I can trust this process, I can trust this person, I have a roadmap, I have a plan, and let's go, right? And the healing journey begins. And our human way of thinking and of feeling is amazing, because most of the suffering is not actually even the suffering itself, is the fact that we have no hope to cling to. Once we have a hope to cling to, the suffering is very much diminished, because we cling to it and we draw power from that hope. Now, what gives me this power? Well, one of the main instruments that I use in order to understand where you're coming from is called BaZi, right? BaZi is actually Chinese astrology. And basically for every patient that comes to me, I look at their Chinese astrological chart, because this can also be translated into health, a health reading. But you see, health in the Chinese understanding is not so much a physical undertaking, right? It's not so much a physical thing. Health is viewed as a holistic endeavor, right? We have the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual level, right? So health has all these dimensions, and Chinese medicine takes all these dimensions into account. Guess what? In the Chinese astrological chart, you can see these, and you can see them interact. You can see the little conflicts. You can see the potential of that person. You can see your life path. You can see your life mission. You can see your challenges. You can see how life would look like if you just went on autopilot, right? And of course, you can also see how life would look like if you made the right choices, if you actually fought your demons and you brought your potential to manifest. And this is one of the things that I wanted to bring to you guys in this video. Chinese astrology is not about a predetermined future. It's not about destiny, right? Oh my God, this is going to happen, or this is going to happen. Sometimes, I hear these kinds of astrological chart interpretations that are so deterministic. You're going to go through this, you're going to feel this, this is going to happen, and so on and so forth. That's just so far from the truth. Unless you are like 99% of all people who go through life on autopilot. Now, I take it that if you're watching this video and if you've gotten that far, you're not, right? Because the people who are going through life on autopilot don't watch these kinds of videos. They're not bothered, right? They're on autopilot, right? They're going to do things every day that bear a close resemblance to what they did a day before and what they're going to do 10 years from now, right? You, on the other hand, are watching this video because you want to expand your knowledge. You want to expand your understanding, right? Growth. One of my favorite quotes is this: those not busy being born are busy dying, right? Guess what? You're not one of them. You're busy being born. Congratulations. Right. So anyway, this is one of the tools that enables us to understand where to grow, how to do it, what resources to tap into, and actually develop a plan of action. So this is interesting, this is fascinating, right? Because life with an instrument such as poți, right, Chinese astrology, is so much more fun. Become fun, right? Fun in the way that it's much easier. You understand who you are, you understand what's going on, you understand what your challenges are, you understand what your life path is, you understand where to be, right? It's like, for example, being the right person at the right moment, in the right place, doing the right action. Some may call it winning the lottery. I'm not about the lottery, right? I'm about science, right? This is science. Now, I'm not saying you're gonna, look at your parts of the chart, you're gonna win the lottery. That was a metaphor, right? But being successful, being where the opportunities are, is simple, right? Like, for example, right? Let's say you watch the weather, right? And tomorrow's forecast says that tomorrow is gonna rain. Would it be accurate for me to say, tomorrow this time, you're gonna be wet? Well, of course not, right? If you check in with the weather, you're going to carry an umbrella. So yes, it's going to rain, but you're not going to be wet, right? So it's the same with astrology. Maybe some things will happen that you cannot control, but if you know the kinds of things that you can expect, you can adapt. And the world belongs to those who adapt, because those reap the benefits. Also, you won't be spending resources like a lunatic, right? Because astrology enables you to understand where opportunities and resources will arise. Like, for example, you won't be looking for, let's say, I don't know, fresh fruits when they're not in season. Now, you're gonna probably find them, it's in some store or something, but they're not gonna be very good quality, and they're gonna be pretty expensive and not very tasty because they're out of season. But if you get them in season, they're probably going to be much tastier and much cheaper and much more abundant, right? So if you know what the season in your life is for, and this is what poți enables us to do, then you can live life so much better, right? Now, in the previous video, I was telling you that there is this thing called acupuncture, emotional acupuncture, which enables us to go so deep that we can, influence our emotions, influence our emotional balance. We can actually go as far as to say, spiritual, right? We can do that. But how do we get to the spiritual level? One way, the way that I was taught doing acupuncture, right, was based on a subjective evaluation of the person. But if you think about it, right, the person, the patient, right, is subjective because they're a human being. The therapist himself is a human being also, right? So you have two subjectives meeting each other, and the overall evaluation of one subjective therapist about another subjective human being is going to be extremely subjective, right? So it's amazing that sometimes we do get things right to some extent, okay? But there is another way. So I'm going to talk about this in my next video, and this is called karmic acupuncture, and that is acupuncture that is based on the poți chart, right? So it's fun enough, it's incredibly soothing and incredibly eye-opening to the opportunities that you have if you just have access to Chinese astrology itself. But when you blend that with therapy, and you can actually do therapy based on the astrological chart, which is non-subjective, right? Because you have a structure based on your date of birth. It's basically astronomics, right? That becomes a science, right? And that is what I'm going to talk to you about in my next video, karmic acupuncture. So I'll see you in the next video.